for more. Republican strategist and former senior advisor to Speaker John Boehner, Terry Holt, is with us. Terry, I've got to be thinking that you are remembering 2015 at this point, as the conference is so divided right now and needed to leave Washington to have a cooling off period. What do you make of this whole situation and your personal experience working with John Boehner?
Well, I'm just struck by the lack of a sort of universal need to get something done. We have a situation where the government needs to be funded. It's time to put the country before personal politics. I really expect the Republicans to come back next week with a unity candidate so that they can get on with the business of government. Not having a speaker isn't good for anybody. And at this stage, I think most of the Republican conference is looking for a clean break from what was a disastrous week.
Do you believe that the motion to vacate from Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida was personal?
Well, I certainly believe that there were personal politics involved. Gaetz is a very ambitious young politician. He likes the limelight. He had a beef with Speaker McCarthy that he used to turn into a major platform. So I don't know if it's personal between the two people individually, but I do believe that personal ambitions were driving his decisions.
Remind us of your experience with Boehner and the threat of him losing the gavel, in which he resigned as a result of what happened with the current state of the Republican Party at that time in the House.
Well, Boehner never got to this stage of animosity among the members of the conference. He had goodwill conversations going on with the Freedom Caucus all throughout his speakership, and never once closed the door, never once backed out of trying to make a deal, trying to get something done according to his conservative principles. Boehner took the opportunity to retire after he hosted the Pope at the Capitol, and he felt that after such a bright and shining moment on the Hill with the Pope, that was a good time for him to duck out and leave the leadership to the next generation. Speaker Boehner was more in the line of what a traditional speaker would be, a team builder, somebody that offered the hope for consensus in the conference. And he saw the same thing that we're seeing now, that there are a few people in the conference that aren't interested in governing. They're interested in their personal politics, and that makes for a very difficult leadership structure.
And based on the Boehner story, what happens now to Kevin McCarthy?
Well, Kevin has the potential to still be a very influential part of this process. Remember that 96% of the House Republican Conference supported his speakership, and his opinion does matter. So I think he will be sort of in the game here over the next few days to see who picks the next speaker, because his support remains strong. But as for a future, having served as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, he's going to be a hot commodity out in America on the stump and as a speaker, and I think he'll do fine.
As I was discussing with Joe a moment ago, Terry, are you cautiously optimistic come next week when the vote happens?
I am. I think that Steve Scalise and Jim Jordan would make a very good team, and that if Scalise were to be elected Speaker unanimously and Jim Jordan Majority Leader, then we could have the kind of unanimity in the conference that's needed right now. I call for that sort of on the outside chance and maybe with a little bit of hope, but I don't think that these Republican members are going to want to have too much time pass and then have the government shutdown on their hands once more.
No, we need consensus, and we need it yesterday. All right, Terry, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.